Okay, in the previous example, we find out the magnetic field at the center of a circular coil, just like say this circular shape. We in the previous example we find out just like for this ring. In the previous example, we find out magnetic field at this center, Oh, now we want to find out magnetic field at an axial point. What is the axial point? If I place this ring in this format, and if you want to find out magnetic field at this point, like this, my finger point where, in this point, this is called axial point. This diagram I just represent here in this format. This is circular coil or circular ring. This is the O is the center. We already find out magnetic field at the point of O. Now we want to find out at an axial point P. For the simplicity of our calculation, we use cylindrical coordinate system here. Cylindrical coordinate system, the basic coordinate is rho, phi and z. Okay, this portion is phi and this is the d phi. Now the coordinate of the field point P is nothing but 0, 0, z. Clear? Now the position vector of the source point is r prime vector equal to a into I cap cos phi prime plus j cap sin phi prime, where a is the radius of the ring or circular wire, whatever may be, and the field point is situated at P. This is in the z direction. So the field coordinate r vector is equal to k cap into z. Clear? Now we want to write down the r vector, that is capital R vector. What is the capital R? The capital R vector is the relative position of the field coordinate with respect to the source coordinate. Okay. So r equal to r minus r prime. We just put here k cap z minus I cap a cos phi prime minus j cap a sin phi prime. If I just simplify this expression r vector in this format for a simplicity of the work, I cap a cos phi prime minus j cap a sin phi prime plus k cap z. That is the component of I cap, this is the component of j cap, this is the component of k cap. Clear? Now we want to find out the magnetic field at P due to an elementary length. That is elementary length for this elementary portion, phi to phi plus d phi. This will be dBp at P is nothing but mu 0 I times dr prime cross r by r cube. Clear? We have r prime. So there is a dr prime. Dr prime will be a into minus I cap sin phi prime plus j cap cos phi prime into d phi prime. So mu 0 I by 4 pi dr prime, there is a minus sign, this one, and dr prime cross r for as like as the previous example, this is nothing but the determinant. There is a vector product. We can write down here in this form I cap, j cap, k cap. Now dr prime first component is minus a sin phi. We put here minus sin phi prime. This is cos phi prime. This is 0 because there is no component of k cap or z axis component. And the rest another row like in the form minus a cos phi prime minus a sin phi prime and z, this one, and by r cube. What is r cube? This is r. We know the expression of r. There is mod r equal to root under z square plus square cos square phi prime plus square sin square phi prime. Now we all of you know the relative coordinate r vector equal to minus I cap a cos phi prime minus j cap a sin prime phi prime plus k cap z. What will be the modulus of r? Modulus of r is the r equal to root over x component square, that is square cos square phi prime, y component square, that is square sin square phi prime, and always the third component square is z square. I just write down the third term first. not intentionally. The final expression r equal to root over z square plus square. Now put here, there is r cube, so z square plus square whole to the power 3 by 2. This is the final expression of dBp. We just manipulate here mu 0 I by 4 pi a d phi prime. This portion gives you I cap z cos phi prime, j cap z sin phi prime plus k cap a. If you simply solve this determinant, you get this expression. Clear? Now I can write mu 0 I by 4 pi a times, take common z from both sides, this one this one. Okay, now I just take a inside the bracket, that is mu 0 I by 4 pi z into I cap a cos phi prime plus j cap a sin phi prime plus k cap square, k cap square d phi prime by this one. Now this one I cap a cos phi prime plus j cap a sin phi prime is nothing but the r prime vector. Okay, now put here mu 0 I by 4 pi into z r prime d phi prime. I just bifurcate this portion in two terms, and the another term mu 0 I, this a square, that is mu 0 I square by z square plus square whole to the power 3 by 2. There is a k cap and the d phi prime, right? Now we bifurcate the final result in two parts. This one. The first one is mu 0 I by 4 pi times z into this portion, and second one is mu 0 I by 4 pi times into a square by this portion. The interesting thing is the r prime d phi prime, this one is nothing but this one. This is d phi, this is r prime. So each and every portion gives you another r prime d phi prime. That is, if you consider circular where it is a symmetric figure. If there is a r prime d phi prime in this direction, there is another r prime d phi prime in opposite direction. So finally we get the magnetic field. There are two components. One is parallel component, this one. Another one is perpendicular component, this one. Due to the symmetry of the problem, that is basically in physics, due to this element r prime d phi prime, this portion already cancel out, because due to the symmetry, the phi symmetry of the problem, due to the angular symmetry of the geometrical situation, this portion will be cancelled out from this figure. So only this perpendicular component will sustain. Okay, so finally magnetic field looks like dBp at r is equal to k cap mu naught I by 4 pi times square by z square plus square whole to the power 3 by 2 into d phi prime. This one. We want to find the total magnetic field at the axial point P due to the whole circular wire. Now the magnetic field BP at r is nothing but integral over dBp at r, which will be k cap mu naught I by 4 pi integral square by z square plus square whole to the 3 by 2 into d phi prime. But all these are fixed. A, Z, A, all are this fixed. So we have to integrate only phi prime only. Okay, this overall integration of d phi prime gives you 2 pi. Put 2 pi. Cancel from both sides. Finally, it will be k cap mu naught I by 2 square plus square whole to the 3 by 2 into square. This is the magnetic field at an axial point due to a circular current carrying wire. One interesting thing is when you want to find out magnetic at the center, just put the value z equal to 0 here. If you put z equal to 0, then you get BC at R, or say BC equal to k cap mu 0 I square by 2a cube. Finally, it will be k cap mu 0 I by 2a. Already I got this expression from our previous problem. The interesting physics here is that when you consider this problem, there's the magnetic field at the center of a coil, and when you consider this problem, there is a term z square. When z is far greater than a, when z is very large, then this magnetic field is asymptotically going to 0, asymptotically just going to decrease. And when you choose this portion, there is a fixed value of magnetic field is here. So these two problem is nothing but a different problem. This is the extension. Okay, so the central magnetic field is this, is a fixed value because mu 0 I 2a all are fixed, and the axial magnetic field is this. It depends on on z. When you calculate the field at large point, then the field already goes to 0, and when you calculate the field near about the circular coil, there is a Gaussian symmetrical figure will arise. And if you want to calculate when this will be goes 0, an interesting homework is when z equal to a, if you put z equal to a in this expression, you get half of the maximum value of the field. What will be the maximum field? It is nothing but the BC. BC is the maximum field. When you put z equal to a, this is half of the field. So all these problems are correlated to each other.